Yeah, I'm visiting my daughter in Florida. Welcome everybody. And I was walking around looking for a place to teach today, and the door to this beautiful cathedral was open. So I thought, I think the universe is gifting us with a beautiful place to sit today. And the energy here is amazing. So I hope you can feel it through the camera. Let's just start by taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if you're able to make sound, I welcome you to make sound that sort of expresses anything that you're just kind of like done with, anything you're ready to let go of today. And make sure you're using your diaphragm. Make sure you're using your diaphragm. So I'll just show you for those of you that are new to this. So when I breathe in, I want my belly to go that way towards that pew right in front of me. So breathing in, I breathe into my belly through the nose and out, and then goes back towards the spine. So that is diaphragmatic breathing, and that will help you calm your nervous system. So this nerve called the vagus nerve runs right through the breathing muscle, the diaphragm. And the yogis figured out that you can adjust your own nervous system by affecting this vagus nerve. And breathing, because the nerve is right there in that muscle, the way you breathe affects your nervous system state. It affects your state of calm, your state of like fight or flight. So they figured out a lot of breathing techniques to adjust their nervous systems, and I'm going to teach you a couple of those today. Um, but first, we're going to just start with the really simple diaphragmatic breathing. And you know, I've taught 4-7-8 breathing before, where you breathe in for 4, you hold your breath for 7, and you breathe out for 8. If you already have a practice of that and you like doing that 1 to 2 breathing, if that is something you're familiar with, go ahead and do that. The way that I'm teaching it now usually is without counts, because I find that then people can just feel their body rather than be in their head with counting. But if counting works for you, go for it. Um, Everybody else who's not counting, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in through the nose, belly is going to extend forward, and then we're going to breathe out slow through the mouth. So I'm going to purse my lips like this so that my breath comes out more slowly. So it's like it's not a fast inhale, but it's kind of fast. It's like big and deep and full into the belly, and then slow through the pursed lips, and belly comes back in. Okay, so go at your own pace. Everybody's breathing pace is different. And for this round, we're not going to do any breath holding unless you have a practice of that already and you want to do that. So find a comfortable seated position or standing. This doesn't work as well lying down. So if you're able to sit up, I would recommend it. And if you're in a chair, either have your legs up, and crossed, or both feet flat on the ground and sort of sitting towards the front of the chair so that your spine is, it's erect, but it's not like rigid. So you're comfortable, right? Your spine is erect, but not rigid. So get your seated posture. And if you're sitting on the floor, you might want to elevate your butt a little bit. Um, okay. So in through the nose, full and deep, and out through the mouth, pursed lips, nice and slow. We'll do, I don't know, around 10 breaths, and then I'll pause you and we'll switch. So whenever you're ready, go ahead. At your own pace. Remember, nice slow exhale. you're finding that you're trying to match my breathing, close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. I want you to feel your own body, your own breath, your own pace. See if you can notice, keep going. See if you can notice as you're breathing out, imagine that your face and your jaw are melting down to the ground. All the muscles of the face are just getting nice and soft, like butter melting. Really notice what your mouth and your jaw are doing. Keep going while I'm talking. I'm noticing in my own face that my jaw is really tight. And when I start out with the exhale, my jaw is tight. And I have to really bring awareness to the muscles of the jaw and consciously kind of like, so if your jaw is really tight chronically, you can even pause and kind of like massage your jaw a little bit, maybe open your mouth, maybe even massage those neck muscles. All the stuff for most of us. Most of us have blockages around this area. And so you'll notice everything can be really tight when you start to actually pay attention to your body. Noticing my shoulders are tight. So just attune to your body and what it needs right now. Kind of feel around like what needs some extra touch, some extra movement. What feels good in your body today? Your body is very wise. It's going to tell you what it wants. We're just learning how to like listen to the body. So much wisdom in the body. Okay, so it was also fine if you kept breathing. So now that you've loosened up a little bit, maybe puffed out your cheeks, that kind of helps with muscle tension in the face. You can kind of go open your mouth as wide as you can. Little neck stretches. Okay, now that everything's a little bit more mobile and looser, now try the breath. Same thing. In through the nose, deep into the belly, and then pursed lips slow out through the mouth. This is for relaxation. This is for when your nervous system is jacked up or you're anxious or you're tired but wired. That's what this is for. It's going to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, and it's going to turn on the vagus nerve in a way that calms the nervous system. That's what we're doing right now. In through the nose, big and deep and full, out through the mouth, pursed lips, real slow. And now soft face, soft neck, soft shoulders, and always soft belly. Big, deep fall through the nose. Slow, slow, slow through the mouth. Relax jaw. Maybe you notice that at the end of your exhale, there's still a little bit more breath in that belly. You can contract your belly a little bit if you want to kind of allow the rest of that exhale to leave because we're doing a breathing practice right now. So breathing in deep and out through the mouth. And then at the end of the exhale, you can pull those abdominal muscles in just a little bit so that the exhale can end. And then there's a pause. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to start noticing the pauses. So there's usually a pause before the inhale and a pause before the exhale. So rather than forcing the breath, see when you feel like taking an inhale. And then once your lungs and your belly are full of air, notice a slight pause before you breathe out through the mouth. Okay, so we're just adding two short pauses in for noticing and go at your own pace. You don't need to follow me. Soften your shoulders. There are muscles that need to be activated to hold you up in a seated position. See if anything else that's activated or contracted, if you can just invite those muscles, those parts of the body with the out breath to just release the tension. And some of them will remain tight, and that's okay. We're not forcing the body to do anything. We're just inviting a softening with the out breath. Notice what it's like at the top of the inhale when your lungs are full, everything's stretched to its capacity, belly is full out. Just notice the feeling in the body when you pause for just that split second and then release the breath. Allow the breath to leave your body. And then at the bottom of the exhale, when all the breath is out, just notice what that's like, a feeling of a body that has just let go, a body that has just exhaled. And then wait for the impulse in the body to arise to breathe in. And then see what it's like as you breathe in that first breath of air. What does the air feel like? What's the temperature of the air? Tuning into your senses. And pausing, letting your breath return to the normal, natural in and out. You might notice that since you've been doing some pranayama, some breath control work, your mind may want to control the breath, and that's okay. Just sort of let that be there and then just invite the body into like, you can just breathe normally. It's okay. And it's okay if the mind is thinking about breathing now after focusing so intensively on it for those minutes. I just notice how you feel right now. Notice what your energy feels like right now compared to before doing the relaxation breathing. Is there a vibrating quality? If yes, is it a fast vibrating or is it a stillness? Like what does your body feel like? What are you noticing? What does your skin feel like? What does your face feel like compared to before? And I just noticed I was slouching. I had sort of forgotten about the spine. And so when I catch that, it's not like I want to be rigid when I'm sitting in meditation or doing breath work, but I want an erect spine. Our spine is an energy channel. So when we slouch, it's things are not flowing as well. So it's not stiff or anything like that. You're still comfortable, but it's upright. Sort of almost as if there was a string at the crown of your head that was just kind of like hugging upwards. So the chin is like very slightly tucked, and there's this upward pull at the crown of the head, the very tip top of the head, the back. Okay. So now we're going to do relaxation breathing, and I'm just going to add a little bit of visualization for those of you that want to do that part. If you're not somebody who likes to visualize things when doing breath work or meditation, just let it go. Okay. So we're going to be breathing the same as we just were. In through the nose, big diaphragmatic belly breath, and then out slow through the mouth. And I'll guide you. So breathing in, imagine that you are breathing in from the crown of your head. Imagine that you're like a tree and you receive sunlight through your leaves, through the crown of your head. So you breathe it in, almost as if breathing it in creates a vacuum inside your body and it's drawn into your heart. So if you're visual, you might picture the breath as like sparkly, effervescent. It might be like light, might be white. You might want to picture a color. It's really up to you. And if all this is just too many decisions, just imagine the breath coming into the heart through the crown of the head. That's the in breath. With the in breath, the heart will swell with light. Okay, so the breath is light. And as it comes into your being, it's going to swell with light. And then as you breathe out, all these little light particles that have been absorbed in the heart, it's like they diffuse outward, out to all the cells of your body. So you might picture these little light bubbles moving out of your heart and moving into all of the little cells in your body, little points of light traveling throughout the body to every single cell, nourishing, soothing, even repairing DNA, repairing cellular tissue. You don't have to picture this, but just imagine that all these little light particles are actually going in and healing your physical body. And if you have a sense of your energetic body or your emotional body, healing on all the levels. Little light particles just traveling around. Maybe if you have an injury right now, or if you're going through chemo, imagining the little light particles going to the area of injury or of cancer and surrounding it with light, infiltrating into cancerous or wounded cells, absorbing what's no longer needed, and it all just turns into light. And as the part of the body that is being healed turns into light, imagine all the muscles, if it's in like a hip or in your buttocks or your back, imagine all the muscles sort of like reconfiguring and smoothing out, relaxing because they don't have to tighten anymore. They don't have to hold or try to hold anything in. The light particles are just doing their magic. So breathing in again through the crown of the head, breathing in light like a tree. Heart absorbs the light, receives the light from the universe through the breath, and then it diffuses as little light particles, like when you look through a sunbeam and there's dust in the air. Little light particles traveling to all the organs, all the bones, all the muscles, the brain, all the limbs, down into your fingertips, down into your toes. Little light particles everywhere, entering each cell, lighting up every cell in your body until you can imagine that your entire body is just glowing. You are light. You're a silhouette of light, a 3D silhouette of light, beaming your effervescence out. And no shortage of light. There's no shortage. There's no scarcity. It's never ending. It's endless. So every time you breathe in, breathing in the light, and every time you breathe out, the heart allows these little light particles to travel to all the cells of your body. So let's stay with the breathing and if you like the visualization with the visualization, and if it doesn't resonate, then just let it go and stay with the in through the nose, deep belly breath, and out through the mouth, nice and slow, pursed lips, all the muscles of the head and neck relaxing as you breathe out. Breathing in light through the crown into the heart. It fills the heart. The heart expands full of bright light. And then as you breathe out, the heart is released to move into all the areas of your body that need nurturing and healing and calm and peace, soothing every cell, bringing every cell light. And let's practice together in this way for a while. And if your attention wanders, no big deal. Just come back to the breath, come back to the light, the visualization, the breathing in of the light. Use your imagination, activate your imagination, make it fun, make it enticing to the mind to breathe, make it beautiful inside. Together, we practice this way. Breathing in light, you become light. You are light. You're glowing. Your entire body, as it accumulates all these little points of light. It's like stars. And you can, in a really clear night, you see all of the stars. So they're so close together. Imagining you could take off even more veils and see all the stars in the sky in the night. And that is your body as it fills with light. If it feels better to shift to natural breathing now, you can do that. And if you want to maintain the visualization to sort of help keep your mind occupied, it can be good to give the mind a job. And visualizing for some people is a good job to give the mind because it's enhancing you going inward. So if it's enhancing you going inward, if it's fun, if it's enticing, you're finding it interesting, then stick with it. If it feels like a chore, release it and just breathe and just come back to the simple sensations inside the body as the breath moves in and out of it. And if you like the visualization, if it works for you, if it's helping, then stay with it. Natural breath, easeful breath. And if you want to stay with the breath, the relaxation breathing, if that's feeling good, that's fine too. Whatever your body's needed today. So if you are still feeling a little bit revved up or anxious, keep with the relaxation breathing. If you feel like you're getting sleepy, start doing the natural breath. Imagine light beams landing, raining on your crown like little drops of honey, You breathe it in. You breathe in that nectar, and it travels from your heart. As you breathe it into the heart expands, and you breathe out, and it travels, bringing all of your cells nourishment, soothing, ease, light. When the mind comes up with stories and it entices you away from the present moment into the past or the future, or planning or organizing, or any number of the wonderful things that our minds can do, and that they do so habitually that they yank us out of the present moment again and again. So they're yanking us out. And so, what we can do is remind ourselves to come back to just right now. Just come back to right now. And we can do that with the visualization, we can do that with the breath, but we're practicing so that when we're in our everyday lives, we can be more and more just right now. And it happens slowly and it happens gradually. And it happens when we do periods of time, even if it's just a minute a day, of intentionally just being present with whatever you're doing. Maybe you're washing the dishes and you're like, for this minute, I am just going to really just pay attention to the feeling of doing the dishes. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be any crazy length of time, and it doesn't have to be sitting. Anything that entices you into the moment. Maybe it's while you're in the shower. Showering is pleasant. Maybe for that 3 minutes, you really focus on the feeling of the water moving down your body, and your mind wanders past the present. You come right back to the feeling of the water, right back to the feeling of the water. We can meditate doing anything. You do not have to be sitting and breathing. Again and again and again, you come back to just right now. So let's practice together in that way. With the techniques you've learned today, see what feels right to you to do for the next, 5, 6 minutes about 5, 6, 7 minutes left. And I'm going to be very quiet so that you can work with your own being, your own mind without me interjecting. And I'm right here. We're here together, sitting together. Enjoy. See if you can really pay attention just to the right now. See if you can make a deal with yourself for the next just 2 minutes. I'm going to do 2 more minutes. See if you can be right on your mind so that as soon as it drifts away, you're like, oh, back to the breath. And it's not harsh, it's not mean, it's not critical. It's just, oh, back to the breath. Oh, back to the breath again and again. So we'll begin our 2 minutes and just see if you can, through the visualization or the breathing, stay right here, right now. Practice choosing where your awareness is. Practice catching the mind when it wanders, and then choosing now. That was 2 minutes. So staying with the breath and just noticing what was your mind like during that 2 minutes where you were like, I'm going to really be focused. I'm really going to be watching my own mind, observing what is that mechanism doing? Is it telling stories? Is it thinking about organizing my bedroom? Is it going grocery shopping? What is it doing? And none of that other stuff is bad. The mind needs to be able to do all those things. We need to be able to live in the world and do all those things. But when the mind is in control of us, we don't have choice. When we're on autopilot and the mind is just reacting to the next thing, when we slow down through these present moment awareness practices, when we slow down, then everything moves slower inside and somehow outside, and we have more choice. And so even when things get sped up on the outside, we get triggered, whatever, if we've practiced a lot and we've practiced diligently, then we can slow down and we can pause and breathe before we react. And that takes a lot of practice. But that's the direction that your consciousness will take if you keep practicing being in the present moment, no matter what you're doing. That could be having a conversation with someone. Really be present with their words, with their face. Put your phone down and just be present with this human in front of you. Try that. Practice meditating when you're not sitting and meditating. Practice it anytime. Practice it when you turn the ignition in your car. Maybe that's your sign. That's your mindfulness key. You turn the key, and now you're right here just for a moment, because it's all these little moments of presence that we can string together. Just this breath, just this turn of the car key, just this smile from a stranger, just this hug from someone you love. And you'll be so much more there when it happens, when you practice being here now again and again and again. And that's why we meditate. That's why I meditate, so that I can show up in my life with more presence for the people that I love. Because otherwise, I'm just reacting. And I'm still doing a lot of that too. But, little by little. Hmm. Let's finish today with 3 ohms together. And we're going to do it a little different today. We're going to do the ah and the ooh and the So om is actually A-U-M, aum. And so we'll pronounce it that way today. And I want you to see if you can feel the ah in the certain part of the body, and the ooh in a different part, and the in a different part. And just notice where you feel it and enjoy it. It's quite pleasant sometimes. So we'll do 3 of those. So breathing in. Ah. May the fruits of our practice today spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere. I bow to each one of you. Thanks for helping to bring the light. one little one little breath at a time, one little cell at a time, one little shift in consciousness at a time. We're doing it together, guys.